really trying to do one take with these, and what I'm seeing is my brain is so fucked up.
You're alone again. I shouldn't be thinking of you, thinking of me.
Hi, my name is Mike, and I'm a 46-year-old freelance animator, and I decided to do a blog about my life. I love how these vlogs always start out and it's just someone talking. It's day one, they start something, they see where it goes. And I've had multiple day ones in my entire existence. I used to be in a punk band. Day one of that was being a band, and then day one of after that was we're gonna go on tour, and so on. So there's a lot of day ones of something new. And that fell apart. Then I moved to LA and worked at a P.F. Chang's for a while in Woodland Hills, trying to find something. This guy came in one day and he had created his own t-shirts, and I was like, oh, graphic design, that sounds cool. So then that led to day one of I'm gonna do graphic design. And then it led down, that was 2001, I think? It was like 2001, 2002. And then that led to me putting myself through school and learning graphic design, which is why I can shoot a video with my cool little ring light. It's right there. I don't really know if this is doing much. Let's see. A little bit. Not a huge into video. I was in video years ago, but I stopped. But going to school, I learned graphic design, web design, videography, photography. Well, photography I learned on my own. Learned all the design programs, and have been doing that for over 20 years. I've been freelancing for 20 years, so I've been in design since 2002, so like 23 years as this video is being shot. So I'm a creative guy, and I always need some kind of outlet. Going back to day one, another day one was I have a punk podcast called This Was the Scene. It's about the late 90s, early 2000 punk scene. And the reason I got into that is when I was, again, in my late teens, I got in the punk scene in New Jersey, and that led to just becoming who I am, creating the DIY ethic that I've got, and that led to really trying to do one take with these, and what I'm seeing is my brain is so fucked up. But anyway, yeah, so day one so the podcast was because I was in the punk band, so day one was like, let me just start a punk podcast, and I've been doing that for 7 years, and it does pretty well. It's got over 300,000 downloads, which to me is a good metric, because everyone, all creatives don't just put things out there just to put them out there. There's a method behind the madness. My method is that I just want to create things and be able to, so I can make my own living and just do this all the time. Just make my own stuff basically and put it out there and make money off of it. Another day one was when I started my comic, which was before, like, pretty close to, it was just pretty close to the podcast coming out. I started this comic called Daily Bread. It's on Instagram. It's Your Daily Bread, where I just started drawing every day. So I have all these outlets. I have where I try to put me into a lot of things that I do, but you can't really do that. Like with the animation thing I do, that's what I've been doing for 20 years, and really just started just doing explainer videos specifically 14 years ago. And that's my main income. So that goes for clients. And then I have some fun things that I do on my own, but it's very time consuming to animation. Hence why when I started to think about doing this, I was like, let me just do a point and shoot, because there's like very little editing. I want to do this fucking thing. And when I did the comic, it was a frustration of just not having anything to say, or having something to say in just a fun, sarcastic way. Majority of my life is just about making people laugh and make myself laugh. And the comic was my way of doing that. So I started drawing, just drew one day, posted it, and then it kept doing it for years. And now I've really kind of backed off on a little bit, but I've had just fun with it because it creates just some random outlets. And I just noticed my giant tan line. That's what happens when you drive a Jeep. And then the podcast, that's my other creative outlet, where it's me, but it's not about me. It's about fucking itch. It's about the bands and the producers and the record labels that I interview, because that's the focus. It's not me. I'm just the narrator. I'm the person who guides the whole thing, which I really enjoy. But I feel like all the things I've done, you know, in this life, I think people obviously put a lot of weight on money because it gets you anywhere you want to go. Besides being a good person and not a piece of shit. And whatever this fucking itch is just driving me crazy. So I guess I wanted to start this vlog because I wanted my own personal outlet just to talk about whatever I wanted to talk about. And I used to have a podcast for my webcomic where I did about 75 episodes, 73, 75 episodes. And I would sit down and talk, and it would just be hit record. And again, it was just my voice. And this, I thought, oh, this would be a lot easier just to sit in front of a camera. This is the 4th time I've done this shoot. I'm sure something's gonna fucking go wrong. But I've had the battery die, the memory card was full, the mic wasn't working one of the times. Hopefully it's working now. I think it's just the universe's way of putting me back and being like, that sucked. But yeah, I just wanted this as another creative outlet, something else to do where I make zero fucking money. I guess it comes down to is a 46-year-old, been freelancer for 20 years, been just doing explainer videos for 14 years. And it dawned on me with all this AI shit happening and I have zero savings. And I thought, man, I don't know. You know, when you're 46, I feel like, you know, you still feel young. I feel like I look like a young enough guy. But you start paying attention to people when they're in their 60s, when they're in their 70s, and a lot of the news headlines are like, got cancer, they're gonna die, they're dead. And up until your 40s, you don't really think about it too much. Once you get over 40, 45, you start thinking about the law. Because you do the math, when you're 45, you think 15 years I'll be 60. And 25 years I'll be 70. Yeah. And you just think, like, that's really not that much time, because things go by pretty fast. And so I was just trying to think of something new. I mean, I've just been thinking a lot about everything. And it makes you feel very compressed. Like, it makes me feel very just like, shit. And I need some kind of outlet. And I don't want to go to therapy and pay someone $150 an hour to just listen to me. And it works. I've done a lot of therapy through the years for different things. One of them being that today, actually, the day, I really wanted to point this out because I've done it in the other videos. Today is 14 years, no, it was 14. Say it was 14 years ago I got married. And then 2 years and change after I got separated and then divorced. And you'll see in this YouTube channel, the video before this is a younger version of me talking about how I got through depression. And it was because of that whole marriage. So if you want to watch that, go watch that video. But I've had the last 11 years, because I got married, but then it was 2014 is when I got divorced, so come up to 11 years. And the last 11 years, I've just been a single dude, working for myself, no responsibility, no kids. And it's nice, but when you have a lot of freedom, you can do whatever you want to, and then sometimes it means you don't do fucking anything. And I think my ears popped. That was weird. So when you have all this free time, when you have all this time to really focus on yourself, you have to challenge yourself and be like, what's the thing that's going to keep me going? Like, what's exciting? And for me, it's just always creating. And I always have to do something. So go back to like the whole day ones. Today's day one of me recording this. Hopefully it's not gonna fucking shut off. And I don't, as all beginning YouTube videos start, like I said, I've had multiple day ones, and they've always just started something that's like, I was just like, where's this gonna go? And then the comic has just done its thing, and the podcast has done its thing, and the animation Drive 80 thing has done its thing, and now this is just kind of, do I want this to be a thing? Like, what's the thing I want this to be? Do I want to just sit here and talk? Do I want this to be something where people really, like something I say really helps people? Or do I want it to be like, I don't know, something about it blows up and I make like billions of dollars because it's a YouTube video, which sounds just so stupid to say. But who knows? I figured sometimes you just gotta sit down and hit record and start something, or pen to paper, and see where it goes. And yeah, hopefully more videos will have like a direction and maybe a topic, and who knows, maybe I'll do other shit out of it. But I just really needed to start something, and this is just, I feel like this is hopefully just going back to like helping people. Like maybe this will help someone get off their own ass. Maybe, I don't know how you'd find this video, like how it's gonna show up in the algorithm, how it stands out. But maybe someone seeing this will be like, wow, this guy worked for himself for 20 years. I never worked for myself. Like, I want to jump ship and do that. Or I've always wanted to start a comic, and I've always been afraid. It's like I just started drawing and just put it on Instagram. It was my personal account. You actually go to yourdailybread.com, and you scroll all the way down, and you'll see my words, my personal account. And then one day just turn right in the comic. And I've always been one, when I get stuck, I'll feel stuck for a while, and then I really have to shake it off. You know, like the Donnas, I think they were singing that song, or Taylor Swift. I don't know if I can know, but I just can't sit stagnant. I need something new that's exciting, and this just felt where the energy just kind of brought me here. I was watching a video with the guy who runs the Savannah Bananas, and he was talking, and he was like, you know, I started following the energy. And when I thought about doing this, I've been trying to put myself more out there. And I'm going to do this more with my other companies. Like for my animation thing, I'm going to put myself more on LinkedIn, just to kind of introduce people to myself and just be like, you know, hey, this is the guy you're going to work with. Maybe it'll help with more. That's very, very money focused. It's fun to do it, but it's also like, hey, like the algorithm's gonna put me out there because of my face, then I'm gonna put my fucking face on everything. But yeah, I lost my fucking train of thought there. Keep doing that. It's weird just to hit play or hit record and just start talking, and hopefully it's not annoying people. I know, like for me, I don't know, I get annoyed by a lot of things really fast. But yeah, so I wanted to just try this. Just sit down, and about 13 minutes in, I want to see where this goes. So let's see. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really have an advice for you. This is just me talking. And yeah. Again, I'm Mike. And thanks for checking this out.